What's up, guys? It's your favorite broker and host, Wayne Chappelle, and I'm back at you with another video today. This video I'm going to title this one Value Upfront, right? And to get into the topic of this video about value upfront, it's one of these topics where if you're in the real estate industry, sales, or what have you, it's very critical. Because a lot of us come into the sales mindset, real estate sales or whatever sales. If you're a salesperson, you struggle with this from time to time, right? And being if you're in a 100% commission structure, meaning that you're not getting paid. Everything you do, all your efforts is tied to a commission at the end of a transaction, right? So in real estate sales, we all know that you get paid at closing, right? If you're not closing, you're not getting paid, and your ribs start to touch as you become hungry if you're not closing deals, right? So you get paid at the end of the transaction. Once you have fulfilled your obligation and duties and the transaction successfully closes, you get your compensation at the end, right? So in regards to that, value up front. And I try to bring, if I'm working with an individual or even having discussions, I try to bring people back into this concept because a lot of times when you're in sales production, you're out there prospecting, you're out there, working with clients, customers, consumers, what have you, you're thinking about you, right? You're thinking about, hey, how can I get this client, this prospect, so I can get paid at closing, right? How can I pick up a client? And you're not thinking about the value up front. And I mentioned this in several of my videos, and I'll keep doing it because this is the only way that you're going to become successful in whatever you do. You have to provide value, right? So in regards to value, it's always good to provide value up front. That's just the way I feel about it. Like, I'm sitting here doing these videos on YouTube, right? I'm not expecting to get anything in return from that. But what I am asking, when I post my videos, I'm asking for people to engage with me, right? But I have to provide the value, right? I have to provide the video. I have to provide the platform in order for people to want to engage with me. So this is the same thing in regards to your business. If you're in real estate, as you're out, prospecting, let's say you're out trying to get a listing, right? What value are you providing, right? If you're paying for leads, which I don't really recommend paying for leads, because until you can get down to the grassroots of building a business and knowing what it takes from that aspect, going out door knocking, doing everything the old school way. I know that we're in a technology driven world, but here's the thing. Out of all the tech companies that are out there, all the big companies that are out there, it comes down to relationships, right? It's that face to face, is that one to one that the big tech companies can't provide. And when you're doing that, right, you're face to face with your prospects and customers and your clients. That is something that can't be replicated, right? And it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort to make that happen. But as you're out there doing that, what value are you providing up front, right? I talked about the short term versus long term mentality in a previous video, but in regards to value up front, what are you bringing to the table, right? What are you bringing to that potential client, to that potential customer that they're going to want to work with you, right? A lot of agents, salespeople want to basically acquire customers without providing value up front, right? You go in, let's say it's a listing agreement, we're talking about real estate here. You go into a listing appointment. In your mind, it's like, I am not leaving this property until I have them sign here, press hard on this listing agreement so I can go put my sign out in the yard, right? So as you're doing that, you're not really thinking about what kind of value am I providing up front, right? Everybody's not going to be the same. Everybody's going to be looking to see what you can do for them outside of the other 10,000 agents that have been trying to contact them and get their listing, right? They know that they have the asset. They have the house that you want to be able to market and sell so you can get paid at closing. But because they have that asset and because there's so many salespeople, agents out there, they're trying to see, hey, what are you bringing to the table? Aside from what everybody else is doing. Yeah, anybody who has a license and has access to MLS can market your property pretty much the same way, right? You have access to the MLS. You get a listing agreement. Boom, you post it on the MLS or a sign out in the yard. You're doing pretty much what every other agent has the capability of doing. So when you look at the value up front, what is going to separate you from the agent that's to your left and to your right? The agent that, came into a listing agreement an hour before you did, and the one that's coming right after you finish your listing agreement, an hour behind you. So value up front being, what can you provide to that customer, client, prospect that's going to engage them, right? Now, I can give you a perfect example of what I like to do. If I'm in a listing presentation, right, I'm thinking, what can I do that other agents are not going to be able to do or do not want to do, right? Now, a lot of us have access to the same, platforms, like I said, in regards to marketing. But if I'm able to, and this is just an example, if I'm able to come with offers in hand, right? If I have offers in hand for buyers that want to buy your house, how's that going to stand out, right? I'm presenting value. I'm bringing value up front before any listing agreements are even signed, right? I have offers in hand that I can present to this potential seller, right? This prospect that I'm trying to get their listing, versus what the agent before me, an hour before me, did their listing presentation, and they said, hey, we'll get back to you. And they have several lined up behind me that they're going to be interviewing as well, right? So how do I present value up front? This is one example. So I'm giving you a clear example that's pretty effective when you're able to have a buyer, whether it be a cash buyer or whoever that's interested in that asset, interested in that property, that you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, I already have a buyer in hand that's interested and ready to go into contract on your house. That is, that's tremendous value that you're providing up front before you even have a listing agreement signed, to persuade that seller, if they really want to sell that house. The ultimate goal is to get a buyer who's ready, willing, and able to purchase their home. If you already are bringing that to the table, that is tremendous value. But I'm just giving you an example. But the premise of this video is, I want you guys to think about value up front. Stop being in the mindset of, hey, I got to get this listing, or hey, I got to pick up this buyer, or whatever you're trying to do. You have to be thinking in terms of, what am I going to bring to the table that's different from what everybody else in this marketplace is doing, to where that individual, that prospect, that client, that customer, that consumer is going to see me, and I'm going to stand out because of the value proposition I'm bringing up front to the table. That's why I named this video Value Up Front, and this is what I'm using to implement and use as a strategy for the people that I'm coaching and mentoring, right? Because this is very powerful in regards to being able to provide this type of service. I mentioned in other videos about becoming a nucleus, and I preach in all my videos about providing value, and it really hasn't changed. You just have to come up with ways to make that happen for your unique situation and the unique service that you provide. That's going to make you stand out from everybody else in a crowded marketplace. So that's just one of the techniques that I use. I do have assets where I can use investors. I can use different types of people, individuals, and companies and firms to present value to a potential seller who I'm trying to acquire their listing, right? So, guys, just think about that. Value up front. What are you doing to provide value up front to whoever you're prospecting, whoever your customer is, whoever your client is? Because truly, if you can shift your mindset to that, providing value up front, you're truly going to be on a path to truly dominate your marketplace. So with that being said, hopefully this video provided some value up front to you guys. But like always, please like, please subscribe. I need your comments and feedback down below. Like I said, this channel, has my name on it, but I am truly building this channel out for you guys. Obviously, if I'm not putting out material that you want to see and hear and dissect, then really this platform is worthless, right? I talked about that in previous videos too. So I need your help. Need you to like and subscribe and provide your comments down below. As always, go out there, have a blessed day. Go out there and make it happen. And I will see you guys on the next video.